What could have been was never meant to be. That's the title of this video. Right. So what does that, you know, what does that say about us as humans? We always want something to play out in a way where our own human personal mind, ego, our rational, limited mind wishes to be. We think that we know what we truly want and what we truly need. We think that we know what the universe should give us in order for us to be happy. Right. What could have been was never meant to be. So if it is not supposed to be that way, no matter how much it would have hurt in that particular moment, in hindsight, almost always we would start to realize the reason that things happen the way that it happened. You know, a dog begging for something that you're cooking, even though you know that you're boiling water, and you know that if you give this to your dog, that dog's gonna get hurt and is not gonna enjoy whatever is been given, right? It's because it's boiling water. The dog begging for boiling water from its human is the same as us. I'm not referring us as dogs or whatever, but it's the same way that humans, you know, think they know what they want when they are begging God or the universe for something that we think we want, right? It's the same thing. So the sole reason that we didn't get what we sometimes wish for, even though we really, really wanted it at that moment, is not meant for us. The sole reason that we didn't get it is because it's not meant for us, because the universe knows in the bigger picture what is needed for our self improvement journey, for our self growth, for our self evolution. The universe knows our highest purpose, the higher purpose compared to what our ego mind, our rational mind needs, thinks it needs, right? So don't feel guilt. We don't have to feel guilt or shame or sadness or grief. I mean, if it comes, if those feelings come, we it comes for a reason. It is there for a reason. All these human emotions play a vital role in a human's expression, in a life's expression. So feel those things, let it come up. Sometimes it can be challenging, but try to the best of your abilities to let it come up and let it express itself through you, through your physical body, through your physical senses, through your physical experiences, or mental as well sometimes. All right, let it come up, because those emotions and feelings are pointing us toward where we may have some form of hidden problems or unexpressed kind of like trauma that is stored deep within ourselves, within our bodies. It has to be expressed, right? So don't fret about the past. Don't grieve if you have to, because you didn't get into a particular university, or you didn't get a particular job, or you didn't get with a particular person that you thought you would live happily ever after with. That's the play of life, man. you know like, I'm not necessarily saying that something better is going to come along just because you didn't get these things, because the human mind does not know what is better. Just as things that we wanted in the past that may not have been, and then in hindsight we look at it now, oh, that could have ended really badly for me if I've gotten those certain things. Right? Just as it is like that, looking at hindsight, we realize that it's not meant for us and it's actually better that we didn't get those things. The same thing happens if we project what we want, our needs, our ego expectations of the future. We don't know what is best for us in the future. We don't know. We're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to know. If we did know what is gonna happen in the future, exactly how it is, I mean, intuition can, sometimes give you some clues, some general ideas of where you're gonna be, where you're gonna work in a particular country, a particular people. Intuition can maybe give you some glimpse of what to expect in the near future, but we can never know fully and exactly what is going to happen in the future. We can make predictions based on our intuition, but that's another story. Just do you know how much how much how much damage it would cause our psyche if we were to know everything that's going to happen in the future up until the point that we die, up until the point where we leave our body? It's such a heavy weight to bear on our shoulders, knowing exactly what's going to happen, right? So God knows that. God knows that if you're not supposed to know certain things that is going to happen in the future, God will never allow you to know, because it's God's protecting us. The universal forces and the universal laws, they're protecting us from knowing what we should not be knowing. So let life play out. Understand that the Creator brought you into this world. The Creator is going to guide you through this world until the end of your natural life cycle. Have faith. Have faith in the Creator. He who brought us here is going to manage perfectly our lives from the start all the way to the end. He who brought us here will see to it that we go through this life as intended in the first place. So, most of our worries, they are all made up in the egotistical mind anyway. It's all made up by that chattering ego that lives in our heads, right? Our job is to realize that whatever that chattering ego does or says or wants you to do, our job is just to observe. Observe that chattering voice. Now, don't get confused between the ego chattering voice, the egotistical chattering voice, and the inner intuition. Right? There are two voices inside of us. The chattering, negative, egotistical voice that not usually, always the ego. How do you tell the difference between the egotistical voice and the intuitive voice inside us? Right? Egotistical voice, there's a hint of a subtle hint of fear, guilt and shame and negativity that is always following, and there's that kind of smell that sticks to that egotistical voice. So whenever a voice comes up, or of any thought that comes up that has some form of like shame or lower vibrational feelings to it, yeah, then you know that is the egotistical voice talking to you. That you can just observe, listen to that voice, pay attention and pay some awareness to that egotistical voice, just like you would pay attention to a kid that's blabbering its mouth at you. You know, you're not gonna hit the kid and threaten the kid just because the kid is like sticking its tongue out at you, right? You're not gonna punch him. You're just gonna look at the kid with some sympathy and like, like, okay, kid, you win. Okay, I'm gonna listen, but I'm not gonna really take you seriously, cause I know you're a kid. You're a small child. You don't know better. So, you hurling insults and negative opinions at me, it's not gonna really bother me. I'll just take it as a joke and observe and pay attention. And I hear you. I sympathize with you. I care, but you're not gonna affect me. Yeah, that's how we should treat our egos. That's the same way that we should treat our egos, because that's what it is. Most of the ego's fears and its personal desires and its wants, it all it all stems from our childhood, right? What we didn't get enough in childhood, in our childhood lives. So the ego develops a way to kind of like compensate. Since now that you are in an adult body, you have an adult mind, the ego doesn't grow up. It is like a kid in many ways, right? So listen to that kid, express its needs, and have some sympathy, empathize with it, listen to it, and then realize that, what, it's okay. It's okay, ego. Like, I get where you're coming from, but things have changed. It's okay, ego. Right? You don't have to let ego dictate your life. And the intuition, on the other hand, intuition is that subtle, calm voice that is guiding you through anything in life, really. That intuition is a calm, stable, grounded kind of like voice that is in the background. Usually it is softer and more subtle as compared to the ego. So we really have to listen to our bodies and the senses and go within. That's why introspection is so important, because introspection is one of the only ways where we can kind of determine whether or not something is coming from the ego or if it's coming from intuition. Intuition is that soft whisper, that subtle suggestion that's telling you, hey, maybe this would be better. Intuition is like the adult, the calm, grounded adult that may be guiding you, or it could be you could see it as like your higher self, right? It's like guiding you gently. Maybe it would be better if we took this route instead of that. What do you think? And then maybe your ego would take you over and control your decisions. No, I want to go here. Okay, if the ego wins, it's not the end of the world. All right, just follow. Just, if you really cannot control certain bad habits or decisions that deep down is going to affect you negatively and it's going to make you suffer, then you gotta let it do its thing. You gotta let it express itself until it has dried up in its expression. Until sometimes you just have got to let the little kid scream and shout and until the kid loses all its energy and then falls asleep. Sometimes you have to let it do that, but realize you realize that you are taken care of. Realize that nothing that is from this world is ever able to hurt you, truly hurt you, or destroy you, right? Things that happen that we wish not to happen, maybe certain lessons. There may be certain lessons that is in that thing that happened. So allow God to guide you, allow your higher self and your intuition to guide you through this life, this experience of life, and understand, go within and understand that your intuition, your higher self, your God, it is always within you. Anytime you want, anytime you need, it is always there. All you have to do is just, surrender, and then be very honest with yourself. You know what? I can't handle this anymore. Please, could you guide me, intuition? God, please, grace, universe, please help me. I can't do this alone. I don't have the mental capacity to know exactly what to do, what is the right thing to do. Can you please? I am being really honest about my shortcomings, and I admit, truthfully admit that I have these shortcomings, and I really want to transcend these things, these lower frequency habits or decisions that I'm making. Then try it, like try it. I can't tell you about the effects. You got to try it. Surrender and be honest. Be honest with yourself, because you can lie to anyone in the world, ex- except for ourselves. We can never lie to ourselves, right? We are always listening to ourselves. We every thought does it. You can't run away. All right. Hope this video helped you guys a bit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.